The rain poured relentlessly. David pulled his jacket tighter against the biting wind, his worn-out sneakers splashing through puddles. His 6-year-old daughter, Emily, giggled as her pink rain boots stomped playfully, completely unaware of the weight pressing down on her father's shoulders. In his pocket, crumpled and damp, was an eviction notice. Rent was overdue, bills were piling up, and today he had one last shot, an interview that could change everything. Then, Emily's small voice cut through his thoughts. "Daddy, look! She needs help!" David followed her tiny finger across the street. A sleek black car sat with its hazard lights blinking. A woman stood beside it, shivering under a flimsy umbrella, frustration clear on her face as she stared at her phone. David hesitated. He was already running late. But Emily's words echoed in his heart. "She looks sad. Maybe we can help?" David sighed, then smiled down at his daughter. "Let's go see, kiddo." They crossed the street, raindrops pelting against their backs. The woman looked up as David approached, a mixture of relief and wariness in her eyes. "Flat tire?" he asked. "Yes," she sighed. "Roadside assistance is taking forever, and I have an important meeting." David glanced at his watch. He didn't have time for this, but he knelt beside the car anyway. "I can change it for you." The woman blinked. "Are you sure? It's pouring. And you're with your daughter." David just smiled. "It's no trouble. I've done this 100 times. Emily held the umbrella over her dad as he worked, chatting cheerfully with the woman. "My daddy's really good at fixing things. He says kindness is free, so we should share it with everyone." The woman chuckled, her tension easing. "You've got a smart kid there." 15 minutes later, David stood soaked but smiling. "You're all set." The woman pulled out a crisp $100 bill. "Let me pay you for your trouble." David shook his head. "No need. Just happy to help." She looked at him then. Really looked. His threadbare jacket, the exhaustion in his eyes, the little hand clutched in his. "At least let me give you a ride. You're drenched." David hesitated. "We're headed to an interview, actually." Her eyebrows lifted. "Then all the more reason. Hop in." Reluctantly, David agreed. During the drive, the woman introduced herself. "Claire Anderson." David's breath caught. Claire Anderson, the CEO of a major tech company. But he said nothing. He focused instead on calming Emily, who excitedly chattered about their adventure. As they reached the small office building, Claire asked for his number. "In case I get another flat." David scribbled it on a scrap of paper, thanked her, and rushed inside, not wanting to be late. 2 weeks later, David didn't get the job. The eviction notice loomed closer. He sat at the kitchen table, head in his hands, when his phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Hello?" "David, it's Claire Anderson. Do you have a moment?" His heart pounded. "Of course." "I couldn't stop thinking about your kindness that day," Claire said. "I looked into your background. You're an experienced mechanic, right?" "Yes. My company is opening a new branch. We need someone trustworthy to lead the maintenance team. It's a salaried position, full benefits. Interested?" David could barely breathe. "Are you serious?" "Very. And there's one more thing." David braced himself. "I've set up a scholarship fund for Emily. When the time comes, she can go to any college she chooses." Tears burned his eyes. I don't know how to thank you." "You already did, David." 1 month later, David stood in front of his new team, wearing a crisp uniform embroidered with the company logo, his name, his future. From the break room, Emily peeked out, munching on a snack from the company daycare. As David walked to his car after his first successful day, he found a note tucked under his windshield wiper. It read, Kindness is free, but its impact is priceless. Thank you for reminding me of that. Claire. David looked up at the sky. The setting sun broke through the clouds, bathing everything in gold. His act of kindness had changed his life, because sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest ripples. And in that moment, he knew, no matter how tough life seemed, leading with a generous heart would always light the way forward. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible life stories. And tell me in the comments, have you ever experienced the power of kindness? Let's chat.